I've just finished watching the Saturday Night Live skit on Brittany Murphy, and I've got to tell everyone that not only do I find it hopelessly tasteless, completely irresponsible, Lorne Michaels needs to be fired. First and foremost, that's the whole gist of this, whatever you want to call it, rant or just absolute disgust at what I just saw. Even if I had seen it the night that it was premiered or put on TV for the first time, I wouldn't have thought it was funny. I think that it shows that Lorne Michaels has either lost his mind, suffering from some sort of dementia or Alzheimer's or something that would prohibit him from making good choices and judgment regarding what is funny and what isn't. And not only just in that the skit that I just saw, the Brittany Murphy skit, where the actress who played her, absolutely horrible. I don't know what kind of role preparation she had for it, but certainly, I mean, when I saw Brittany Murphy's career, she never acted like that. She was never loopy. She just had gotten fired from some sort of job. But isn't that what Saturday Night Live has turned into? A mocking post for people that are going through their drug rehab, or Britney Spears kind of stuff, where there's maybe an emotional problem they're having. Let's make fun of the man when he's down. And that seems to be the humor that they've adopted now in this last decade, is that if somebody's going through something, we're going to just step on them. We're going to not only step on their neck, but we're going to make sure that they know that we think that we can laugh at their expense and get a big ha-ha and still collect a paycheck, because we can't come up with original humor of our own. And Lorne Michaels is to blame for that. I am so mad at this wicked man. Not only for this skit, but for Christmas for the Jews. I just saw, a video of that. They just aired on like a holiday special. Let's show Jews, getting the run of the town because Christians are celebrating Christmas. I mean, it's so far-fetched from being humor that, you can rhyme a few words and make it sound funny. Ass sounds like glass. It is funny to juveniles. It's funny to 7 and 8 year olds to rhyme something with diarrhea. But for adult humor, and especially with an iconic, cultural show like Saturday Night Live, which has seen many, many years of just wisdom in their humor, taking a situation, that wasn't involving one particular person's, downfall and misfortune, but maybe a situation regarding, a current event that wasn't just mean, mean-spirited. And so I'm going to boycott NBC. I know NBC shows Sunday night football games, but in my mind, there's nothing that's worth watching on NBC anymore. They've moved Conan O'Brien to the earlier slot. Jay Leno, he was moved all Thursday. He's got to save that whole weekend, a whole weekday show. The lineup they used to have for Thursday night was incredible. ER, Frasier, Friends, Seinfeld. But now I can't even name one Thursday night show other than the Jay Leno show, I guess. But I have never even seen an episode. So, I mean, what's that tell you, NBC? I mean, there's obviously the reason that I watched him at 11:30 instead of 10 o'clock at night. Conan O'Brien is not the Tonight Show. I'm sorry. He's more like a David Letterman late show type humor than he's ever going to be a Tonight Show. It doesn't have the same panache, as it were, to appear on Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien as it would with Jay Leno, or even with somebody of a higher quality of host. The Tonight Show with Dan Aykroyd would be a more suitable medium for that, because of the history with Dan Aykroyd and people like that. The Tonight Show with Chevy Chase. I mean, why didn't they think of that? Give him a chance to do something with the with the history that he's had, and especially with Saturday Night Live, kind of tie it together. But I don't know. I'm just very angry at Lorne Michaels, and this video just left a really bitter and vile taste in my mouth. I mean, just to think that you dance on somebody's grave before they're even dead, like he did, and allow that to be shown is not only irresponsible and classless, tasteless. I think it's criminal. I think he needs to be prosecuted. To take somebody's misfortune and turn it into your own, vehicle for making money. He's shown that American people just don't care anymore. I do, and if I'm the only voice of reason, I'll stand proudly and be that. I think Lorne Michaels needs to go. I'm not going to watch NBC until he is gone. And I call for everybody to do the same thing. The show, so you're not missing anything. You're really not. They don't have any minds at NBC anymore. They just kind of throw whatever's out there and stick to a wall and, oh, this might be funny, this might be funny. It's terribly not. And it's not only not funny, it's something that makes me sick to my stomach and should make you sick to your stomach too. It's not human. It's basically bullying people that are already going through a misfortune and making fun at their expense. And like I always say, as my grandmother said, if you're not laughing with the person, you're laughing at the person, you're just a mean-hearted, mean-spirited person. And Lorne Michaels has turned into either proof that he's suffering from some sort of mental deficiency and needs to be replaced, or he just doesn't give a fuck. He'll throw whatever's out there. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a Christmas special next year that had Jews being burned in ovens. It's Christmas for the Jews. Ha ha! Let's laugh at the Jews because they don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, yeah, you can poke a stick at a sleeping bear, but eventually you're not gonna want that to happen too often, and the bear's gonna wake up. And in this case, I hope the bear wakes up. I hope people. I find it irresponsible Hulu took off the video. I think it ought to be public domain. I think that we all had a chance to see it in its light now, seeing that Brittany Murphy has passed, and make their own judgments that this is not going to be tolerated. That this is not a funny thing at all. This was an evil and wicked attempt to get some laughs at the expense of somebody who was obviously going through something. We'll never know what, thank God. I mean, it's kind of sad that we won't know what, because she'll never have a chance to have redeemed the last image I think that there'll ever be of her on TV, which was Lorne Michaels' idea to make her sound like a loopy, out of it, decrepit actress that hadn't gotten anywhere in her life, where the exact opposite was true. She was an incredible talent. She was emotionally on screen. You could feel her role. Just married with Ashton Kutcher. Great chemistry. I wish they had developed that further and made another bunch of pictures with that. We've lost an icon, and in her death, I find that Lorne Michaels has completely obliterated any emotion that ought to be shed at his passing. He started something, but the way he's finishing it, somebody ought to shove him out the door, take him to a doctor, and get him some mental treatment, because if he thinks that's funny, if he thought that the skit was funny, then he's not only a man that I would not even care to know. He's a man that shouldn't be in charge of the comedy of a show that's been on for so long that maybe he's lost his grip on reality. He's certainly lost his grip on what is funny. He's lost his grip on what really makes people laugh. And it's not picking fun with people. It's not bullying people because they're down and out. It's humor based on a mindset that's not wicked. It's not being mean-spirited. And Lorne Michaels has forgotten that. I'd say we remind him. I say we fire him. Either boycotting his shows, or like I plan to do, not watching any shows on NBC, including Sunday Night Football, which is going to be a very hard thing for me to do. And I might be the only one. I might be the only idiot in America that decides not to watch NBC shows. But I certainly do think that in light of Brittany Murphy's passing, I owe it to her, especially since I've seen the skit they put on a couple weeks ago, and not only am I just I'm so angry about it. I'm just amazed that more people aren't. And if I stand as the lone voice of reason in this, that there's no way that I'm going to tolerate, especially what's happened to me in my life, being raped, being molested. Make fun of me. Let's do that. I'm an easy target. I'm not handsome at all, right? I mean, pick fun of the guy that's down and out, I find it tasteless. I find it, and especially get paid for it. Especially since the only person making money off this whole thing is Lorne Michaels. And if he's making money poking fun at Brittany Murphy, or poking fun at the Jews not celebrating Christmas, or whatever else over the last decade that I've seen here and there that has not been funny at all. I mean, when I watched a parody commercial, the show on commercials, there were 2 or 3 in the whole show that were funny, but the rest were tasteless. They need some new minds there. They need better writers. They need people who actually have compassion, people who care, people who could stand on their own and be funny, and don't have to stand on somebody's neck to be so. So